In this video, you're gonna see one of Central Asia's most bizarre foods.
Look, transformation.
These are called milk lungs. Soon, you're gonna see how they're made and how they taste. But first, let's back up. To find these dairy-filled lungs, I had to come to Central Asia, a collection of countries from Kazakhstan to Afghanistan. Right in the heart of Central Asia, you'll find Uzbekistan, which is where I'm taking you today.
Wow. Dude, where are you?
I know.
can't see you.
I'm on a mission to show you some of the most creative,
Oh my God.
twisted, mouth-watering creations few people have seen before.
Holy cow.
It all starts here.
They have something called, well, what do you call it in your language?
It's such a unique thing that we don't have name, so description is the name.
What is it?
Milk inside of the lung.
I don't need to explain more. We're gonna go
Let's
in.
see.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Tandoor Kabob started just 4 years ago. Their menu includes the greatest hits from around Fergana Valley. This is Chef Muhammadjan, the only one trusted to make this dish. Oddly enough, this non-bread dish starts with a dough. A blend of flour, water, and salt. Knead it up and let it rest. In a basin, he adds hot cow milk, sliced onions, and that big ball of dough. The dough is constantly and methodically massaged and mixed in the basin until it becomes weak and stringy. After some serious dough squeezing, he removes the glob along with the onions. All that remains is doughy, oniony milk.
The milk isn't just any milk. He mixed the dough in with the milk and then threw the dough away.
The dough makes the milk more thicker and it stays in the lung. If you put just milk, it will go out like water.
So it's changing the physical properties of it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Can you feed it to like a cow or
yeah,
something?
yeah.
They feed it to
Yeah,
cows.
he said cow's gonna eat it.
And then they make more milk.
Yes.
Those lungs are empty now. Everyone who's watching, do a big exhale. Ooh, that's what your lungs look like inside. And later, they're gonna get full of stuff. You're gonna see what kind of stuff right over here. So he grabs the lung and he has a carrot here. He's looking for the right fit. The carrot is like the cork on a wine bottle. If it squeezes out too easily, he doesn't like it. Now we're gonna finally see the transformation that takes place as he puts it in. This is like 2 liters of milk going inside of here.
Look, transformation.
How would you describe that?
Alveolus inside of the lung, they're being filled and they used to be pink, but now they're all white.
Gonna give it a poke?
Is it hard?
Very firm. He puts in pepper and then he hits it with some oil.
Of course.
We're in Uzbekistan. This is the land of the world's richest, heaviest food. He has to just dump 2 cups of oil in there. And then slowly, it's important to gotta massage it a bit. It's full, he corks it with the carrot, and then the final step, he's gonna tie it off with a string. Here we have 2.
Healthy lung looks like this.
It looks very healthy, completely full of seasoned onion milk.
Next to the filled and corked lungs are boiled in water for 2 hours before moving on to the next step. We're gonna come back to this soon, but in the meantime, I want to show you a style of cooking that goes way back.
Right here, the action is happening. Here we are, I'm about to burn my leg hairs off through my jeans somehow.
These are tandoor ovens. Using cottonwood, these reach up to hundreds of degrees.
It's so big, you could fit like 6 human bodies in here.
And they're used to cook some of the world's most succulent meats, including fat-tail sheep sausage.
Do you know you have sheep unlike any other sheep in the world?
Yeah, I know.
He knows? He said, I know, and then he grabbed the butt.
Instinct, you know? When you see it, you grab it.
You don't see this on just any sheep. A lot of sheep got bony little butts. There's nothing there. Like,
This is a fat-tailed sheep, a genetically mutated species whose entire tail has become one swaying, Kardashian-like posterior.
it doesn't even have a purpose. It's just hanging there. But that's where all the flavor is. Where is the most flavor in this sheep?
Some people like the ribs, some people like neck. The whole unique thing about the sheep is that it's flavorful all the way.
All right, I thought he was gonna say the butt. I disagree. I think all the flavor is in the butt.
I agree with you, man.
Thank you.
He's saying that he's gonna take the fat ass out of it.
Look at this whole thing. It's just a big chunk of fat. Wow, boom, sheep booty.
Aside from copious amounts of butt fat, the sausage gets plenty of protein too.
Now he's gonna butcher it with the axe.
With 15 years of experience, Chef Zahiruddin precisely portions out each pile. The final result, 100 pounds of meat and fat ready for some seasoning. Salt, pepper, cumin, all mixed up, then joined by Uzbek lemon, including the lemon zest. Add hot water, mix once more, and it's ready for the next step. In the meantime, those milk lumps have been boiling for about an hour, slowly turning them solid.
Oh, it's like a water balloon filled with hot water. The inside's getting a little bit firmer, a little bit harder. I think it's on its way to becoming solid. I can't wait to try this out, even from here to the plate. What's that gonna look like? Are they gonna just slice it like a loaf of bread?
Now, back to the sausage. Stuff the seasoned meat into sheep intestine and tie it closed with a string. He portions each sausage so it's plump and girthy, but still short enough to fit in the pan.
I've seen sausages hung, I've seen them smoke, I've seen them cooked on a grill, but here they're filling up a huge rack full of big pans of thick sausage. And that's it, it doesn't actually touch the bottom. He puts the khazan upside down, and then now this has to be sealed. Soon, in about an hour, we're gonna take it out and test this juicy sausage and see how it tastes.
While we wait, I do believe we've got some milk lungs that have finished cooking.
As you can see, they've kind of shrunk down, they've shriveled up a little bit. Like, what's a good example of something that shrivels? Oh. It is all one consistency. It's like jello-y almost, gelatinous you might say. Take a look here. On the outside, that's lung. On the inside, right here, that's kind of hardened cooked milk. Right here, he's put on a seasoning, a mixture of chili and salt. Oh. My bro, I feel overwhelmed. What did I just eat? Well, I need some time to digest that, mostly mentally. Actually, what I really need is BEFRS. I need to share this experience with him.
Before we can sit down to eat, we need to bring some sausages to this party.
Wow, it's so muttony.
Look at all the steam.
You guys can't see anything, can you?
Big review.
Wow. The sausage is completely cooked through, boiling in its own juices right now.
Oh my God, look at it.
If you like living on the edge, try using 4 handkerchiefs
And it won't break, he said.
Yeah.
to lift up more than 100 pounds of sizzling meat.
Stop, you stop.
Okay, he's gonna pour off some of the liquid right now.
Okay, lift.
Okay, we got it over. We put it down. I got it. The meat, it's amazing how much it's cooked down, full of fat and water, and even the liquid itself looks pretty tasty.
Yeah, it's going in, it was just a sausage, now it's a full course, like a soup and the main course.
Right.
Allow me to officially introduce BEFRS, the unofficial ambassador of Uzbekistan tourism. Once it became easier for outsiders to travel to this country, BEFRS bent over backwards to introduce content creators and their audiences to the rich food secrets of Central Asia.
It's still very hot, but I think we could break off a piece.
Ooh.
Boom, that's yours.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy.
Oh, dude, it's so hot.
But manageable.
Speak for yourself. So good.
That's so delicious. The cumin gives it a beautiful depth of flavor. You
Yeah,
can really,
seasoning is amazing.
the meat is soft, juicy,
very tender.
and it's just like eating little pieces of steak. It's a really unique type of sausage. A lot of sausages, you know, they're ground up, they're really fine. I mean, a hot dog is just one, sorry.
Are you comparing this to hot dogs?
The other thing is that if you were making sausage with like beef, almost always they would add some pork for the fat content. But here, it's got that doomba.
Ratio of the meat and fat is just perfect.
Oh,
It's amazing, man.
awesome.
Our final, strangely satisfying feast includes sausage and milk lumps, plus Tandoor Kabob, bread, and Uzbek lemon. Let me explain.
I thought some people might be confused earlier when I'm talking about the sausages being made, and I'm saying in voiceover that they're putting lemon on there, and people watching are like, that is an orange. Sonny forgot what oranges are. That's a lemon?
Yes, so we had a local biologist guy who came up with a new species of a lemon. He crossed the tangerine with a lemon.
Oh, so it's like a trans fruit.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm open to that. It's not an orange. Super citrusy. That is exactly a cross between an orange and a lemon. Woo!
It's a really good palate cleanser.
Perfect. Orange lemon. That's a first for me. We've tried a lot of this stuff so far, but he especially has not tried this, and I need to try it again to really wrap my mind around it. Wait, what are you feeling right now?
I don't know, man. I have really mixed feelings. I don't like gooey stuff. Look how jelly it is. Look how Let's do it.
Let's do it. Last, we must build up to that. But first,
This Tandoor Lamb is one of their signature items. The lamb meat is marinated overnight using a spice blend of cumin, nutmeg, pepper, paprika, and more. Then it's spent 3 hours in the fiery tandoor until it's fully cooked through.
I saw a similar preparation last time I was here in Uzbekistan, but they were using like a mud tandoor, using this lattice structure to hold all the meat. This is not so dissimilar, except for it's in that big underground tandoor. Oh. Very tender. The flavors are a bit mild. It's just lightly seasoned.
I like the jerky part. Look, it's like a beef jerky.
Oh yeah, there's like some crunchy part. Oh yes, this kind of crust that's developed here. That is where a lot of the flavors are. That is good. It's almost like creamy and buttery.
People think it's fatty and it's not a good way. Like, oh, it's fatty, but it is not.
It's fat, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like me. Oh, bread!
This is a local flatbread, and at this restaurant, they make their own fresh daily, made from wheat flour, butter, and milk. But the best part is the baking, done inside a hot clay oven, built specifically for this type of bread.
This bread is awesome, so soft, like a freshly baked pizza crust.
Yeah.
Man, Central Asia, the food is so hard to pin down because for me, at least in the US, we don't have enough references for it. So we have like East Asian restaurants, Indian restaurants, we have Middle Eastern food, and then this is something converging between all of those.
Because of the Silk Road, we got a little bit of that, a little bit of that. It's a melting pot. Different cultures, different cuisines merged into new ones.
Speaking of melting pot, this just came out of the melting pot a second ago.
Yeah.
Lungs, the feeling, gosh, oh, it feels exactly like tofu. Does it bug you?
It is bugging me. Oh my God, okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Don't hide your expression. We want to see it. Your eyes are the window to your soul. And also your mouth is a little bit too.
Man, but you know what? I love it, man.
You love
it's
it?
so good.
Really?
Yeah. So soft.
So
But it needs bread.
I've yet to describe it. For you, what's it like?
At least for me, it doesn't look that appealing.
Isn't that the best part about this show?
It is.
It's like breaking your preconceived notions of what
About
could
my
possibly-
own culture, like, you know.
Yes, and you are from here. It's awesome that you get to see this, even now looking at it thinking, oh, this is not going to be good. And you're kind of into it. Very salty,
Wow.
but very rich, right?
Extremely rich. It's really hard to describe.
I can't tell any difference between what is milk and what is lung. It's all just become one solid, congealed consistency. So fascinating. It's incredibly inventive. Whoever thought of this, wow. Nice work.
I've tried boiled lung. I know how it tastes like, and it's not most flavorful meat because of the texture or aftertaste, but the milk washed down all the negative aspect and brought that interesting taste to it.
It's the perfect partnership, kind of like me
And
and like if I could clone myself.
Next up, we'll be tasting a rarely appreciated body part that people here go crazy for, the neck of a sheep.
First of all, what kind of steroids was this sheep on?
he was doing a lot of bench press.
I mean, take a look. This isn't even the skin. That is the fat under the skin. You can see layers of protein and fat, and then there's bones. All of that gets...
Semi-stewed, semi-cooked, super, super tender, bro.
Is this something that you can find all over the country?
It's available throughout the country, but especially Andijan, people really like sheep neck.
Perfect. I'm gonna put this down.
We've got our sheep neck. Now let's head to the restaurant to cook it up. Chuntak Restaurant has been here slanging out necks and other regional foods for over 25 years.
Now, usually, a lot of people that go to a restaurant, they completely skip this step. They just order from the menu.
It's a medium rare, that's it.
Boring. Instead, what we get to see is how this neck really works.
Chef Muhammad is here to demonstrate how the neck goes from a hulking mass to an edible delight.
Almost like he's cutting it into little neck steaks, but he can't get all the way through because of the neck bone. The spine is still there. This man has an axe.
But it's not going to be easy
I wore the wrong color clothes today.
or pretty.
Balalaikas ragtime band.
Oh, that was neat.
Oh. Ah, so that's neck. He's actually dicing the neck or slicing it this way, making little neck steaks almost like it's freaking tuna or something.
Balalaikas ragtime band.
Quick question since we're here. Uzbekistan, the land of many things. The land of plov, the land of samsa,
In your head.
also land of thick eyebrows. Is that true? Look at this guy, his magnificent eyebrows. Look at me. I'm a freak.
Next, season the sheep steak with a special chef-made blend containing 11 different spices, including significant traces of cumin. First, a layer of meat, then a layer of salt and seasonings. When the pot is piled high, it braises slowly and slowly for 5 hours.
I know for some people watching, they heard sheep neck and they thought that's a little bit weird. I knew, because I've been to Uzbekistan, I trusted that it was probably gonna be cooked in some kind of way like this. Slow cooked, lots of time for the fat to break down, become just a freaking juice. I mean, we could import this into the USA and then solve our oil problem. What is a good piece? I think, wait, hold on, I found something.
Oh.
I found a tumor. They gave us some bonus parts, it looks like. That looks like a kidney, huh?
It is a kidney.
You want half a kidney?
Yeah? It's gamey.
It's like kind of livery and dry, huh? The rest of this is all neck and there's no more surprise part. I'm gonna grab this one. Oh, it fell apart. Oh, it's like my parents. It can't even stay together. Here, you just pick around, the meat falls off so tenderly juicy.
I don't need even a knife.
They didn't even provide us with a knife. You just scrape it off and oh my God.
You know what I'm gonna do? Dip it.
Give it a dip in the oil. That is awesome.
And the seasoning, it's just perfect.
Beautifully stewed, soft, juicy, fatty.
It's even better when you dip it.
True. All the drippings that came off of there.
So good, man.
That's incredible. It's one of those things, the more I travel, stuff that might seem exotic or strange or unique to most people just seems like, oh, I've had that before. I did actually have the neck of a sheep in Iran, but I gotta say, that was a petite little lamb compared to this. This is thick, but not tough. It's just a lot of delicious, super soft meat.
You know why? This meat was not sanctioned.
Oh, it's so dark.
Our Central Asian fantasy food tour continues in the glorious nation of Uzbekistan. Today, I'm on a mission to take on Uzbekistan's man food.
It is glistening, like Zac Efron in Baywatch.
Daring dishes reserved for only half the population.
If I was gonna have hair in my food, I would want it to be this hair.
From strange, compressed, and congealed meats no lady would ever dare to touch,
What the heck is this? I see hair.
to heavy late-night favorites like this. 100 sparrows, all stuffed,
It is microscopic.
all fried.
Is this enough? Did we order too few?
The delicious debauchery starts here at this Uzbek gentleman's club, but it's not quite what you might think. This is a choyhana. For centuries, spots like this have been exclusive places for Uzbek men to gather round and get rowdy.
I was super excited about this until I realized we are in a Muslim majority country and most people here don't drink.
Instead of Jaeger bombs and dancers, when Uzbek men gather, it's all about stories and food.
The worst thing that goes on here is overeating.
Today, we'll start with a twist on the national dish, plov. This is the man behind the khazan.
Remember that bud from last episode? The Dumba? This is the Instagram influencer right here. That's what he starts with. The first 5 minutes, he puts in these cute pieces of the Dumba. That's gonna start to kind of fry and also release the oil. So when he puts in the meat, that's gonna start frying immediately. You can hear the sounds now. I haven't done this for a while, hold on. Should we mic the food?
This literal fried sheep ass is an appetizer that we'll try soon. Now, onto the plov. Fry up delicious chunks of mutton, then toss in onion.
Now these onions have really fried up. He's putting in the meat, all of that frying up together. Looks awesome, smells even better. So while that's cooking, I wanna try this with the chef. Right here, we have freaking fried fat. In Texas, I had fried butter. That butter is bursting out in your mouth. Well, mainly in my mouth. Wait, is it in your mouth too? But here, this is just actual fried fat. I love it. Please, share with me, my man. Crispy, crunchy, certainly kind of fried tasting, a bit heavy, and then just juicy and fatty in the middle. Especially the smaller the pieces, the crunchier it is. It's a little bit like pork rinds. I think technically I'm not supposed to say that in this country. Hey, Bet Cruz, am I allowed to say that? So that is our appetizer. In the meantime, he's gonna finish up making the plov, and we're gonna try it out at the table.
The sizzling cast iron khazan receives a huge load of yellow carrots, a generous portion of broth, salt, cumin, then add some heat with a few chilies. Now, the rice. He distributes it evenly, then adds hot water and lets it boil.
I have to ask more about this gentleman's club theme. Is there any food that is exclusively for men, or can women eat everything that men eat?
Remove the lid to add more seasoning, then let it steam for 40 minutes.
There is no any restrictions, but usually men tend to like something really heavy, a lot of oil, a lot of meat and stuff, and women tend to look after themselves and like be more salad, something light, and we just don't care, man.
Yeah.
When the rice is perfectly cooked, remove the lid, revealing a heavy pile of this country's favorite food to feast on. You know it's perfect when the rice is glistening and shining.
So, gentleman's club. It's like Korean karaoke, but no music and no alcohol and way more plov.
Nothing like Korean curry.
Okay. We have a plov here. We have a bunch of side dishes, as always. Mexi ranch?
No, yogurt with the chili.
And then they also have ranch?
Also no, it's another yogurt with different herbs.
And bread?
Yes.
I think we need to try in layers. Let's first, I think, try just the rice, huh?
Okay. Wow. I can't get enough, man. It's so good.
Did I have this with the brown rice before?
This is your first time, bro. It has different texture.
Right, it's a little tougher, a little bit chewier rice. This is such a heavy food. It's oily, greasy.
But in a good way.
I get the heavy food because it's kind of cold here and people here seem to work hard. So this kind of just keeps you going for the whole day, the whole night. It fuels you up.
Yeah.
I want to try some of this meat now. Oh, it's so soft and juicy. It's a really unique texture because it's one of the only meat preparations where the meat is fried, boiled, then steamed. So awesome. Chase it with some Coke. It's so quiet in here. So what's special about this is you can only get it in Uzbekistan. Only in Uzbekistan. So it's not like you're in Miami and you're like, oh dude, let's get Uzbek tonight.
Man, this is such a dream of mine. We gotta get Uzbek food to mainstream because it deserves, you know, it's such a good food and I don't see any reason why people will not like it.
To cleanse your plov-soaked palate, might I offer this, a broth consisting almost exclusively of chilies and water.
Oh!
Man, this is just something you would find at a gentleman's club. Women would not do that.
No.
Oh, now I want more plov to cool this off.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it kind of cleans your palate and gives you a kick and rush so you would consume more.
I like it. It does cut it in a certain way. It's interesting, like putting lime on a taco.
Plov, done. It's the next day. Bring on the funky, strange meats for breakfast.
I've never seen anything like this yet in Uzbekistan. This is like the real street food, but it's also just a bunch of dude food and weird, strange, odd cuts of the animal and then sausages like you've never seen before. What is going on here?
Dude, don't ask. Sometimes I don't even know what's going on, but in the end of the day, what I know, that it's freaking delicious.
This is Oram Chohannesson. If Americans go to Texas for brisket, Uzbeks come here to this sidewalk for the cold cuts.
Abdullah, please step up. Yes, you see, he really actually stepped up. He does have a little platform back here. I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but he's not actually this tall.
Abdullah sells 15 different cold cuts, and just like Jared, you won't find any of these even close to a Subway.
Is that the foreskin of an elephant?
This is just a cow's stomach.
All right.
He says that if you have a stomach problems, then this is what you eat.
Oh boy. No, how about, no, hold on. Where's yours? You can't just give me cow stomach, say it's good for me, and then not have it yourself. All right, now I believe you.
Good.
Okay.
I love it.
It's cold, firm, and has a very strong, intense taste of cumin. Very powerful.
While some of these meat combinations may look funky, folks here love it, buying over 100 pounds a day from Abdullah himself.
This is the weirdest combination. It's the lung wrapped in a stomach.
Nobody does organs like Uzbekistan. Good.
It's really good.
Everything's good when it's kind of cold, and then he just puts a load of chili salt on it, and then it just tastes like cold, chewy meat. But it's quite interesting. Nothing offensive, nothing really powerful or obtrusive.
Maybe you want to try something a little warmer?
Sure.
Bro, this is cow's feet. You can see even hooves, man.
Oh, so this is literally a piece of the bottom hoof. It's pure fatty gelatinousness. That's really nice.
Man.
Melts on your tongue like an M&M.
What they do is that they boil a lot of hooves and they add the meat and it kind of solidifies, becomes like a jelly.
Oh, that's my kind of Jello.
Wow.
Very dense. I thought that was too small of a piece, but it's just right.
Yeah, it's filling.
Very dense, interesting, congealed collagen sensation, and tons of cumin.
And it says it's good for your feet.
The stomach is good for your stomach.
And
the feet are good for your feet. Yes? Do you sell penis?
If you get your man party on late into the evening, come to Oram, the only 24-hour eatery in this country. Just point to what you want outside, then head in and eat. Just don't forget your log of sheep butt sausage.
What the heck is this? Is that hair?
More on that soon.
Let's talk about this first. This is like a little bit of an appetizer.
This is dolma, minced lamb wrapped in pickled grape leaves, topped with a quail egg.
Good?
You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
I don't know if I'm a grape leaf fan. The sour, it's thick. It's like a coarse leaf. And then the meat, it doesn't taste like a ton of meat, but it's like filled with some kind of juice, like a leaf and meat juice. I find this to be fine. I have to say that sometimes.
Sure, yeah.
Because if I'm here saying, oh, every food is amazing, how trustworthy do I seem then? Not very. Are you in love with it? Okay, sorry. Right now we're working our way up to this, and we're gonna have to figure out what is inside of there and how it tastes. But first, this. It looks a little bit like a glazed donut, but that's not sugar.
These are balls of minced mutton and rice, wrapped inside a layer of caul fat.
I'm gonna grab this one.
And I'm gonna grab this one.
Without any caul fat?
No, I'm fine. I think the
No,
caul fat.
come on, dude. You put that back. Doesn't smell too gamey. Let's try it out.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
That is awesome. See, now we have a barometer. Now the audience believes me, because that's just okay. But this is really good.
I like it.
Sometimes caul fat can be a bit intense and gamey. Not here. There's no really strong sheepy, muttony taste to it. You can taste some cumin, some salt, a little bit of heat. It's beautifully minced inside, and then just this really fatty layer on the outside. Just makes it more kind of rich and fatty, and it's fun to bite through. What do you think, that's like 100 calories?
At least, bro.
No, it's gotta be like 400. There's gotta be so many. Spontaneous tea action.
Tea is the main drink here in Uzbekistan. In fact, Uzbekistan has one of the highest levels of tea consumption per capita, even more than Japan.
It's like a way to cleanse yourself after just a bit of a rough experience. Final dish right here. What do you call this?
We call it basturma, bro.
Basturma.
Yes, sir.
The name basturma is often associated with air-dried cured beef in Middle Eastern and Mediterranean countries, while this is definitely not cured beef.
This is infamous sheep butt. They shave the butt. They wrap the meat with this basturma and cooked. It gives a really nice taste, man.
The closer you look, you see they missed a few spots like me when I shave in the morning. This is nuts. It smells good. A lot of these are very strong, like cumin tasting or smelling. I'm gonna cut a healthy slice. Yeah. Look at this amazing cross section. All this heavy, fatty, huge meat chunks. Hit it with some chili salt, put it in half like a taco. Dude, this is remarkably good. It leaves such a rich aftertaste. It's so much protein and so much just rich, lively fats. Look at that. It does not look appetizing at all. You cannot judge a sausage by its casing. Everything we had looked like, oh, what is that weird, strange, congealed mass of meat? It's like, why is my meat in a perfect cube with right angles? But in the end, everything's quite delicious. This ended up being my favorite thing today. Of all the sausages, I should say. This sausage party is not ending now. Oh, it works, because sausage and also, you know.
After strange meats, there's nothing I crave more than strange sweets. Now, this next food is not exclusively consumed by men. In fact, it's loved by all.
Why wouldn't you love it? It's sweet, it's funny looking.
But to make it, you'll need a few dudes with a strong grip and a fair bit of upper body strength. Let's start from the beginning. We're here today for a candy called pashmak that starts with sugar boiled down into a syrup. In the meantime, sift wheat flour and pounded walnuts into a large bowl and mix them up. Warm the flour mixture on the stove and spread it out over the table. We're gonna need that soon. As the syrup bubbles, Rustam prepares his cooling bowl by adding oil, then the hot syrup. The cooling bowl is placed in water and spun until the candy reaches a temperature that won't give you third-degree burns. Finally, this is where the magic happens, a quick pulling process that'll soon make this thick candy look unrecognizable.
And I think I've seen something similar in other places, but never like this. So it starts with one strand, they loop it, then they stretch it more, then they loop it, then they stretch it more. Eventually, this is gonna become like angel hair.
Rustam is a third-generation candy maker, and he's kindly invited us to his 90-year-old factory to witness the making of this national sweet.
So now it is so thin, it is literally like hair. If I was gonna have hair in my food, I would want it to be this hair. How do they know when they're done?
They know it when it becomes less stretchy. So when it stops stretching, then they're like, okay, time to stop.
We're getting close to that point. They're pulling hard, but it's really, again. So now we're ready for the next step.
Now he's gonna cut it.
Dude! Look at these fine, fine strands of sugary sweetness covered in wheat flour, but also walnut flour. That is awesome. Is this what your hair looks like in the morning?
Mine, yeah.
Not mine, I don't have enough. It gets more and more hard and brittle the longer it hangs out because it's cooling down. Let's try it out. It's crunchy.
It is.
But slowly,
It turns into gummy, huh?
yeah, gummy and melts in your mouth a bit. It's super sweet. I mean, it's made out of pure sugar, essentially, syrup. And then there's a hint of that walnut in there.
And they're putting more walnuts. Look how he's doing, man.
With an experienced hand, Rustam divides the strands into serving sizes, stuffing them with more walnut powder, then rolling them up. During their peak season, they sell up to 30,000 rolls a month.
The flour is too much. I breathed it in. Oh man. You appreciate it so much more when your life is flashing before your eyes and you think this is gonna be the end. This is the last thing I'm ever gonna eat.
But it's a good thing, bro.
It tastes similar, super sweet, but then now there's just more texture and more walnut nuttiness inside. Really elevated level of enjoyment. Sir, thank you. Can we do some elbows? Can you bow me? Boom. Rahman.
For an epic ending to this video, we're gonna need an epic kitchen.
It is microscopic.
This here is a sparrow. Sorry, not a sparrow. I mean 100 sparrows, all on one plate. If little birds won't fill you up, you can always add a couple local ducks to the order.
This is wild duck?
Yeah. The only way you catch it, you shoot it.
Somebody shot this?
They remove the buckshots and they clean it right away.
I don't see any entry or exit wounds.
I think it's a sniper shot, precise, not a buckshot. Because otherwise, if you shoot it, it will explode, bro. Look how small it is.
Yeah, we don't shoot it with a tank, so I don't need to worry about biting down on that.
No.
That's the main point.
Worst come to worst, your insurance is gonna cover it, so don't worry about it.
My life insurance, not my health insurance.
Boil the ducks for 1 hour with salt, then take them out deep frying until they're crispy.
The meat inside is super dark meat. It's a little bit reddish. It's been boiled, it's been fried. Usually things here are like fried, then boiled or steamed. Other way around this time.
Yep.
That's about what I expected.
Super rich, dark, gamey. There is an aftertaste.
Really? Well, I don't know. We've had nothing but mutton so far, and mutton can be incredibly gamey, but this to me, not gamey, but very dark, where it's just more that. It's darker, it's more soft. It's like that times 5.
I like it. It's interesting. After us trying lamb all the time, just change the meat. I think it's a good substitution.
Last up, sparrows. This is the tiniest bird I've ever seen in my life. How are people catching these?
They set up a trap. When enough birds come in, they just pull it up and they catch it alive. It's cost like 50 cents per piece.
You can't call them a piece. It's a creature.
The tedious preparation of 100 sparrows starts with dumba fat, cubed and seasoned with salt, then stuffed inside.
The sparrow is kind of lean, therefore you have to compensate that with sheep fat. Creates a really good flavor combination.
After stuffing, they take their final flight to the hot oil, deep frying until they're crispy.
Do you ever worry that Uzbekistan will run out of sparrows?
We have more than enough.
All right, that's a relief. Oh, good, bandana. Don't need to do that.
This is an already dainty, delicate bird, so once they're cleaned and feathered, there's almost nothing left. You may be wondering, so where's the meat? But when it comes to these guys, you have to eat them whole, bones and all.
How you doing there?
Interesting.
Crunchy.
Definitely tastes chicken, but it's so dark.
Ultra dark meat. A little bit like the duck.
Because I think they have like organs remaining, like liver and other.
Oh yeah, they didn't do like a microsurgery to take out the intestines, the stomach. We're eating whatever this bird was eating.
Most likely.
Yeah, I've eaten sparrows before, or pigeons, and it's like, okay, I've had like a family of pigeons, and then I've had an extended family. This is like a whole family tree. Everyone with the last name Smith in the sparrow community has been wiped out right here. And I feel mad about that, except for they look pretty good too.
Have you ever tasted like dumba? Is anything for you?
I forgot about the dumba. So there's been a dumba. I do not taste the dumba.
I think the taste of the sparrow just overtook it.
Be careful with the bones. It can jab you in the gums.
That's what I was trying to make, extra chewing process.
But the bones themselves, it's nice, it's crunchy. I just imagine like my dad was on food stamps and I was a kid. If my dad couldn't have gotten food stamps, our turkey would have been like this on Thanksgiving. With just a tiny little mashed potatoes, tiny little stuffing on the side. Like, sorry, it was a bad 2011. I don't know why in this story I'm 26.
Next, I'm gonna show you Uzbekistan's mutant sheep species.
It's like a sheep from Avatar.
This is a fat-tailed sheep.
This is the Kim Kardashian of sheep.
Instead of a tail like this, their chunky behinds consist of nearly 100% fat.
Do you want to slap it?
And that fat is the foundation for much of Uzbek cuisine.
It's been fried, the oils get released, and then he's fried all the other organs in there.
I mean, just look at it.
Oh yes! What is going on?
I'm on a mission to show you the Asian cuisine you never knew existed.
Right behind me, one of the most unusual preparations I've ever seen.
Starting at the market,
Ooh, it does smell like something you'd get in Korea.
then ending with a fat-tailed sheep cooked up 8 different ways,
Is this gonna give me superpowers?
including raw sheep ass.
Oh, it's so gushy.
It all starts here. Welcome to Dehan Bozori, the largest bazaar in Fergana.
Every time I've come to a market in Uzbekistan, it is picture perfect. Everything is clean, organized, bright, colorful. I feel like I'm in a Central Asian fairy tale here. Look, a whole wagon full of actual bread.
Yes, sir. Fresh from the oven.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So follow us as we take a look around the market, and hopefully we'll find some ready-to-eat food as well. Let's go. Right here, we have the bread section. They're offloading tons of bread. In fact, we have a whole wagon full right here. Why is all the bread flat?
If you're wondering if Uzbekistan is a rice or a bread country,
Because the earth is flat.
it's both.
That's the best answer ever. I thought the earth was like a loaf of bread.
No,
but it's more
yeah.
like a flat
It's
bread.
a flat bread, bro. It has a little curvature, but it is a flat.
For the bakers here, bread isn't just a commodity, it's a canvas.
So the bread's not only flat, but it's extremely ornate and beautifully decorated.
Some use it to make art,
They have sesame seeds around the perimeter. There's walnuts, there's little raisins inside.
and others use it to promote their business.
Here, there's some bread that has some words etched into it. What does it say?
That's a business card, brother. The name of a guy and his phone number. So we are eating and you're like, man, I like this bread so much. I wonder if I can get more. Oh wait, there is a phone number. I can call him up.
Wait, hold on. Can we pretend we're Japanese businessmen?
Yeah, like,
You had to put it in your wallet.
arigato.
Arigato. Right here, this is the biggest bread I can find so far. Let's try it out.
Man,
That's some good bread. It's like a thick bagel on the outside and then thin and a little bit more chewy on the inside. I love bread here. It's so thick. And usually, you're not just gonna eat a bunch of bread by itself. It's meant to cut some of maybe the heavier food you're eating here. Love it. We need to maybe get a shopping bag for this and keep moving.
The Silk Road influence here can be traced to Uzbekistan's neighbors to the east and west, but even a country as far away as Korea has also made its mark.
The woman here, she looks Korean.
man, she is Korean. 안녕하세요.
Most Uzbek Koreans migrated to Uzbekistan during the Korean War, taking with them their cooking techniques and applying them to local ingredients.
We call them Korean salads and they become like a part of the culture.
Now, locals with no Korean ties at all make and sell these fermented and pickled delights in markets across the country.
So they brought it and it caught on big time, like sushi in LA.
Or pizza in New York.
I think we should try something that stuck out to me right here. That looks like stomach. Is that stomach?
Yes, sir.
Can we order some? Oh, that is stomach. If I've seen stomach, I mean, it's like fuzzy, like a little carpet that's just been soaked in some kind of a chili sauce and vinegar. Let's go for it. Oh, what?
I like it. It has sheep aftertaste.
Yeah, and pre-taste and during taste. I like the seasoning, but then like the intensity of the stomach still comes through. Sheep stomach is like Uzbek squid. Folks in Korea love squid. If you're Korean, you can't have squid. Sheep stomach might be the next best thing, at least texture-wise. The taste, it's fairly pungent and gamey, but that's mostly been masked by the pickling and seasoning and everything else she's put on here. I love it. There's never been a more true fusion than this right here.
Asian fusion at its best.
Absolutely.
Uzbek cuisine is shaped by its availability and lack of availability of certain ingredients. For example, seafood.
If there's anything I know about this country that is a unique fact, is that it is double landlocked. That means it is landlocked and every country around it is also landlocked. So it's very far from the ocean.
All the fish here come from nearby rivers or lakes, including this snakehead fish.
Oh, it's so big. Dude,
Oh.
that is a massive river fish. Oh. Fantastic, you got a little bit of.
I get a lot of it, man. Not a little bit. I hate
Should
you
we
for
keep,
that.
I think we should keep that. All right.
In this country, there's one meat that reigns supreme among all others. From five-star dining to simple street food, the fat-tailed sheep is an indispensable and foundational part of Uzbek cuisine.
We have another food. We tracked this man down. Assalamu alaikum. This is a mobile vendor. Inside, he has samsa.
Samsa is a traditional Central Asian pastry stuffed with meat or vegetables. Unlike their fried cousin, the samosa, these guys are always baked in a tandoor oven.
Here he's got a giant hot oven. It's still warm on the outside. There's some embers on the inside.
These samsa are homemade, crafted with dough, potatoes, and minced fat-tailed sheep, locally known as dumba. To cook, they're stuck to the walls of this very heavy, portable clay oven and carted to the market.
So he just has something to scrape it off the wall, and then he catches it in a pan. Ooh, thank you. Cheers. Oh, look at that, it's steaming. Oh, this is incredible. There's a ton of onion flavor in there, and then some of the fat from the sheep is just extra juicy, almost buttery, all with this nice chewy dough wrapped around the outside. Oh my gosh, I love it.
From Dumba in the Samsa to eating Dumba sausage or the Dumba you find in plov, this meat is used everywhere in Uzbekistan. So right now, I want to head to a Dumba farm and meet the Dumba at its source. This is Joydan Sheep Farm, located in the city's suburbs. Here, they house 200 sheep, with up to 100 being sold each month.
Right now, we've come to a suburban farm. We're slowly backing up as we get closer and closer to the local sheep. These sheep are like no sheep you have ever seen before.
This is the famous mutant-looking fat-tailed sheep,
It's like a sheep from Avatar.
a breed distinctive for their bubbly posterior.
To me, right there, that is Uzbek cuisine.
Although it's my first time seeing them in person, it turns out this species makes up 1/4 of the world's sheep population.
For me, this is how sheep should look like. So if I see any other type of sheep, for me, they're like, why those sheep look like not a sheep?
In fact, variations of this animal are prized and bred all over Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, adored for having fat deposits in all the right places.
The lamb plays a centerpiece in an Uzbek culinary. Like everything made of sheep absolutely tastes better, sells better. So that's why they use sheep like constantly in everything they can.
All right, we want to capture one. I'm gonna grab the leg.
You do slowly, you do slower. You don't attack suddenly, you like, foreplay, man. Okay, good. And now you grab the neck.
Oh, now grab it. Like this?
Yeah. Okay, and hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, man.
This is not what I wanted. This was not my intention at all.
Dude, change your position. Okay, there you go.
You can see they have a thick neck, big old belly, and then this back here, the prized part. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, guys. This video is demonetized, but would you look at that? All right, I'm gonna let it go. All right, you did well. I'm sorry. Does the farm have an HR department?
I think so.
All right, I'm in trouble. I gotta get my story straight.
I'm buying one of these sheep and we're taking it to a mad food scientist who's gonna turn it into a long list of dishes, some of which I'm excited for and some that scare me. The sheep is quickly slaughtered the halal way and its blood is drained. Part of the skinning process includes an ancient technique that goes back generations.
So right behind me, one of the most unusual preparations I've ever seen.
The butcher makes a small incision in the leg of the animal.
This is a technique I've seen done the modern way.
Then he uses his mouth to blow air inside.
For example, in Mexico, they used an air hose and they stick it in the animal between its muscle and its skin and they inflate it.
This is done to create separation between the skin and the muscle, making it easier to remove later on.
That is super unique, something crazy that I have never seen. I mean, this is how it was done originally. Before there were compressors and machines that could blow the air in, it had to be done manually or mouthfully. Orally. Hey Cruz.
Yes, sir.
Today I'm very excited because we're going to be trying out about 5 or 6 different dishes from this one creature, all made by this chef. Sir, assalamu alaikum.
Meet our culinary superstar, the mad food scientist, Chef Nosser.
He has a lot of dishes in mind for today, made with all different parts of this animal. But the first one we're going to try, the Cruz, is what?
First one is gonna be raw sashimi sheep fat.
To make sheep sashimi, the chef cuts a thin slice of dumba, or the sheep's tail fat. Spice it up with chili salt, and you're ready to go.
First of all, it's still warm from the animal's body temperature. It's really soft, it's stretchy,
Has an odor.
has a little bit of an odor, but don't we all?
We do.
Let's go for it. Oh, it's a big piece. Oh, it's so gushy. Oh, you can't do it.
Oh my God.
Bro, this is someone's culture. Oh, it's yours. How do you feel?
I almost threw up.
But you didn't.
I didn't.
Did you spit it out?
No, I.
You did?
Yeah.
All right, here I go. Ooh, I'm gonna taste that for days. The fat has coated my mouth. It's just so you chew and you chew and you chew and nothing's happening. It's not too bad if you just got a smaller piece. The chili salt helps a lot. It makes it more palatable. All right, I think this is a great experience. A first course, an aperitif to get our stomachs excited and ready for more. Thank you, chef.
Fortunately, our next dish involves a lot more heat.
What would you call that?
Dumba jigar.
The chef starts by slicing up the sheep's organs.
What is jigar?
Jigar is a liver.
He slices and dices the heart, kidney, liver, and even the sheep's balls.
Butt liver.
Butt liver.
In a hot kazan, as always, he starts with the dumba cubes. When the fat renders down, he adds the slices of organs and lets them fry. Season with salt and cumin, then cover for 15 minutes and serve.
Let's start with liver. Wow.
Nice. It's a little dry inside.
Yeah, it's really hard to make a liver not like that, where it's like a little chalky, but I think he's done good. It's not super dry, it's just kind of as dry as most livers are. The cooking style, it starts out really fried, but then why do a lot of people steam after that?
If you just fry it, it becomes kind of too much chewy. We don't want that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right here we have a kidney. Cheers.
Cheers, my man. It's tasty.
Very tasty. Oh, now I taste the cumin much more.
Seasoning really blends it and gives really nice aftertaste.
I like that. That's more juicy than the liver.
Yeah, liver is a little dry. Yeah, in a good way.
All right, these are the lungs. It looks like Snoop Dogg's lungs. They're so dark and just completely torched.
Okay,
Cheers.
let's see.
It's like mushrooms, the texture. It's like a grilled portobello.
And it doesn't have like strong flavor.
No, not at all.
If someone gives you and says it's a mushroom, you would buy it.
That's really unique. I did not expect that. So this is excellent. The meat tastes delicious. Every different organ has a little bit different texture and slightly different taste. Delicious. 10 out of 10.
Zordu yaptım, azali.
Appetizer number 3. It just doesn't stop at Cruz. Look at this. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's a balls kebab.
It's a balls kebab.
These doodads are chopped up and seasoned with just a little bit of chili salt.
I'm looking at this volume of balls here and I'm thinking this sheep had 4 to 5 balls.
No, we had to like buy separately.
Then he skewers up those testicular cross sections.
It's like a homemade sticks. It's a special tree, juniper tree. It gives the taste as well.
We're not just having pure, unmitigated ball. It has some juniper flavor in there too.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
He grills them for about 15 minutes.
I'm curious, you know, in a lot of countries, when you eat something like this, it gives you some kind of a benefit, something to do with masculinity. When we eat this, is this going to give me superpowers?
She says like if you really believe in it, it might work. If not, it just you know, taste the dish.
The power of positive thinking. In the Bedroom, my new book by Sonny Side. All right, cheers.
Başladı.
It's actually quite meaty. Rather than being like so fatty and gelatinous, it's really soft, unlike any other organ. This is really like its own feeling. It's soft, it's supple, it's delicate, all those things.
Word.
Chef, I think you've done an excellent job. I think it's very good. I'm quite stunned and very impressed. Well done.
Chef Nosser has studied classic traditional Uzbek cuisine, but he also isn't afraid to make his own creations, like this dish. It starts with a giant web of caul fat. This fatty membrane normally encases the sheep's digestive organs, but he's found a new use for it. He seasons it with chili salt. Now, onto the liver. The liver is cut into thinner slices, and it's stuffed with crushed walnuts. Place that on top of the caul fat and wrap it up like a Christmas present. The liver grills for about 20 minutes, enough to cook it most of the way through, but not enough to dry it out.
The organ preparation that I see in Uzbekistan is some of the most unique I've seen anywhere in the world. Starting with lungs filled with milk, that was a couple of episodes ago. And then here, liver stuffed with walnuts and wrapped with caul fat. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So good.
It's so good. So the issue with liver, a lot of times, is it can get kind of dry and it's hard to make it really be juicy, but they've wrapped it with that fat. And then inside, you've got those walnuts that have kept their crunch. So it's just a beautiful texture to accompany the liver. The caul fat alone is reduced in size. It wraps even tighter around the liver. And then parts of it like this get really crunchy. Full of flavor. And nothing here is gamey or muttony. This guy's a genius. So that is the liver. I love it. This other food is something I've never even seen attempted. He must have invented this because what we have here inside of the aluminum foil, it is a quail egg wrapped in caul fat.
I'm not sure how I feel about this next food, which calls for eating actual egg shells.
It's my first time seeing this.
Small, delicate quail eggs are wrapped in caul fat. The quail eggs are still raw at this point.
It's like, you know, hardcore M&Ms.
He showers them with a massive dose of salt, then rolls them up. Wrap it in tinfoil, toss it on the grill, and when you've built up enough courage to eat, take it off and give it a try.
Should we go for it?
Let's go.
It's hot.
Yeah. I thought that the shell will be most disturbing thing about it, but it turns out it's like a least of obstruction.
Well, yeah, you feel it crunching, but it breaks into a million pieces in your mouth and it dissolves pretty easily.
Yeah.
What was the toughest part for you?
The smell of lamb.
Yeah, it was that first bite. I was like, wait, is this an egg from a sheep? That is a wild experience.
Now that the organs and all 13 of the sheep's testicles are gone, it's time to focus on the protein. I've asked Chef Noser for a glorious, climactic ending to this eclectic tasting menu. And wait until you see this. The meat is cut down to manageable chunks. Then he fills the kazan with cooking oil and fries some potatoes. Patience. We're building up to something. When the potatoes are done, they're removed. And then he adds the meat. Now, the most crucial ingredient, an entire freaking pumpkin. He cuts it open and removes the seeds, fills it with butter and honey, then places the whole thing on top of the frying meat. Add back the fried potatoes and water, cover it up, and let it cook for over an hour. When it's complete, garnish with whatever you have laying around.
Today has culminated in this moment right here, our final meal. It is incredible. So first of all, the centerpiece, we have a pumpkin decorated with quail eggs. It's surrounded by a perimeter of different sheep cuts. I see a bunch of ribs, there's corn.
Also we got potatoes, but we can't see it because there is so much meat and corn on top.
There's so many layers here. And in fact, inside there's a liquid. What is going on inside the pumpkin?
He put butter and honey and it cooked in the juice of the pumpkin.
All right, should we try it out?
Okay, let's go, man.
Here, this is a rib. Try it out. Oh.
And this, what I call yamana mamana.
Super savory, sticky, tender, juicy. There's some fine mutton. I taste a little salt, a little cumin, but otherwise, it's really a lot of the natural flavors of the sheep coming through. There's no overcompensation taking place here. Well, the quail eggs might be overcompensation, but not with the meat. I'm gonna pull one of these out. Cheers. You know what? It does work without the shell.
I like the shell one better.
Yeah. Oh, really? Let's go back to him trying that. Yeah, okay, he liked that better. I want to dig into the pumpkin. We can actually eat the pumpkin too, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm reaching in here. This is the pumpkin. I've just scraped that out of the inside. I'm going to scoop into the liquid. Now it is just dripping with that syrupy, sugary goodness.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Cheers. Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the pumpkin's like kind of sweet, but kind of squashy. I like even the desserts here are rich. Of course, why not? Today we're eating basically pure oil and fat the whole day. We end it with a dessert where you dip it into butter and honey.
Bro, that's how we do. You go big or go home.
Anyways, good meal.
Thank you, man. Thank
What a
you
day.
for it's not just the food, but it's with whom you're eating makes it more pleasurable. So with you, I have tried things I would have never tried. So thank you very much for helping me discover more of my culture.
I feel good anytime I can make people push past their own limits. You know, they talk about Steve Jobs. When people got around them, they thought things that were impossible were possible. And when people come around me, they're like, I could probably eat that weird thing.
Thank you, man.
And so that's
so
it.
inspirational.
Yeah.
You, Steve Jobs, yeah.
It's the next day. I'm on a mission to reveal Uzbekistan's most satisfying street food, made by the daredevils of dining. From heat-resistant tandoor divers
I've seen tandoors that are so hot they burn all your arm hairs off.
to giant fish wranglers who catch your dinner by hand.
This thing is like a snake.
All the action starts right here.
We have just come to the bread district. This is a patch of the highway with tons of different bread shops making bread absolutely fresh.
Like most bakeries, a day at Patir 13 starts with loads of dough, and that is where the similarities end. For extra richness, the dough here is made with only flour and butter.
It starts with the portioning, the balling, the rolling it out, and then they put the print. They make a special design. You'll see that every bread here has an identity.
Then the dough is glazed with more butter and sent to the walk-in oven. I've seen a multitude of fiery tandoor designs around this country and the world.
So big, you could fit like 6 human bodies in here.
But these tandoors stand apart. It's the size of a freaking walk-in closet. Inside, the dough is slamma-jamma to the wall in one quick, swift motion so the baker doesn't spontaneously combust. After 15 minutes, it's ready to take out.
This is some heavy, dense, beautiful bread. They press in the phone number, something we saw already at a previous market.
That's a business card, brother. It's the name of a guy and his phone number. This one comes with the address, name, phone number, and the location. But I think they have to take it to the next level. I suggest them to do the QR code.
You have to be careful though. If it bakes the wrong way,
You're gonna send them to North Korea.
Yeah, exactly that.
With 20 years of experience, Pat Tier 13 now churns out 4,000 flatbreads every day, and they haven't had a worker burn to death in over 230 days.
It's super hot. I don't know if you guys can tell.
Oh, almost 50-50.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, some parts doughy, some parts kind of crackery and crispy, hot, steamy, and satisfying.
It's more like pie than regular bread, taste-wise.
Yeah, it's very like pie crusty. Just need to fill it with meringue.
Or apple jam.
Uzbekistan is such an intersection of so many different types of food. Like, yes, people love rice, but people equally love bread. I don't think you could call this either a rice nation or a bread nation.
Yeah, way in between, my man.
That is nice.
If you think bread sticking is impressive, then check this out. The top-level Tandoor daredevils of Tandoor Samsa Markazi going face-deep into fire pits to stick giant samsa of all kinds to the walls.
Oh, should I try it? Well, okay, hold on.
But what is an Uzbek samsa? Well, it all starts with the dough.
What is in here?
Water, eggs, and the flour. They prepare it one day before, so in the morning it's all good, so they can start.
A perfect samsa casing requires a thicker middle section and a thinner rim. Creating that perfect balance requires a special rolling pin.
This is the cutest rolling pin I've ever seen in my life. I want to take one of these home with me.
Here, every man uses his own pin in his own way.
He really rolls it so hard, it makes a sound. And every time he does it, it gives me extreme anxiety. I'm not sure why. It's like somebody trying to knock down my door and break in and do bad things to me. How come he whacks it in such an intense, loud way, and you're so gentle?
It depends on the rolling pin. He says, I have a thinner one, so I can whack it. I press it and make it thin.
With our wrappers ready, it's time for the stuffing, which includes some protein you might not be prepared for.
What is the secret behind a good samsa?
Obviously, fresh ingredients, but more important is the balance. It's the master's eye which can tell I should put more meat or I should put less meat.
Over 16 years of samsa R&D, and this restaurant has come up with a loaded menu of 16 different types of samsa.
Can I eat one?
Yeah, try it. It's cooked. It's a horse meat, by the way.
Horse meat.
That's right. Bojack horse meat. It's a delicacy, not only here, but in other parts of Asia and Europe too.
Tastes great to me. Saltiness, pepperiness, cold, fatty, and delicious.
The horse samsa is stuffed with chopped beef, a quail leg, and a generous portion of horse sausage.
How come the horse meat here is always in the form of a sausage and not like a steak?
That's a good question. I have to think about it.
Is it more palatable because you can't see any horse body parts? You grind it into a sausage, and I have no emotional attachment to this sausage other than my absolute love for sausages.
After stuffing and wrapping, it's time to head to the ovens. This tandoor is being loaded up with 6 types of samsa and kebab.
Everything is going to take a different amount of time. It takes a true master to really figure out what he's doing and to know when to put it in, but more importantly, when to take it out.
The entire wall's real estate is put to use.
He's sticking it to the walls, to the ceiling. Oh, should I try it? Here. Boom. It stayed in there. That's nice.
They spray in some water and close the lid, turning the oven into a steam room. To seal the heat inside, top it with heavy stacks of ceramic dishes.
It's actually going to take about 40 minutes, and then we're going to see this come out, and we're going to try it hot, fresh, and juicy.
Outside the restaurant and inside the dining hall, the atmosphere is also heating up, with customers flooding in, waiting to get their hands on the first batch of the day. On an average day, over 1,000 samsa can be sold.
Now the steaming is about finished. He's taking off these plates. He's going to remove the lid. We're going to get a waft of steam and then see what the final result is for all these different samsa.
You can smell aroma, man. Samsa is in the air, bro.
They are golden brown on the outside. It is steamy. It is beautiful. It is samsa.
Extracting the samsa is the easy part. Managing the crowds is another story.
It's harder to coordinate than I thought. Some people are saying right now, hey, I got my ticket, I want to go. So everyone wants it fresh out of the oven. And it can't stay in here forever. There's like a limited window of time. So he has to really organize his cooking and his delivery. It's just complete chaos.
The more happy patrons that grab their fresh, steaming samsa, the closer I am to tasting one for myself.
Right here we have two of the kebabs. Usually kebabs, it'll just be put over a grill or sometimes leaned into a tandoor. Here, he stuffed the kebabs directly on the wall of this oven. So this is the side that was on the wall. It's a little bit more wet looking. And then here, there's kind of a crunchy crust that's developed on the outside that was facing the fire. It's hot, loaded with spices.
Unlike ordinary kebab, man, it tastes really different.
It has so much seasoning on there. It's interesting because it has a crust on it, but essentially the meat has kind of steamed. This is nice. It's cold outside, but it's warm in my belly. Since we are standing here, I wonder if we could risk trying one more.
If you're feeling so hungry you could eat a horse sausage, this next one is for you.
Okay, so that is like our little horse sausage burrito. You can see how it was hanging on the wall because the gravity has kind of pulled it down. It's golden brown, a little bit of black stuff, but that's fine. And then here, the crusty part that was stuck to the wall. Oh, that's gonna be hot AF. Man, there's nowhere I'd rather be right now. It's about 40 degrees outside, just above freezing. And this is like my hand warmer and my tummy warmer. There's just so much heat, moisture, and hot meat in there. Oh, epic reveal, dude.
All that, man.
Magical. Similar seasoning, cumin, salt. You can taste the horse sausage is juicy and delicious. The quail egg in there, and then just big chunks of beef. Old McDonald had a farm, and his whole farm is inside of this samsa. There's a lot of things we haven't tried yet. There's the bowl, there's other giant samsa. So we're gonna order some now, head inside, and try it out properly.
Our Central Asian dumpling feast includes this restaurant's greatest hits. Let's start with samsa in a bowl. An entire clay vessel is filled with chopped beef and lamb skirt, then wrapped inside the dough and slapped onto the tandoor wall. Once out of the oven, the dough lid is cut open and topped with a scoop of marrow soup.
We've got the beef, we've got the horse, we've got quail eggs. Basically everything we just tried outside, but in bowl form. That's a huge difference, actually.
Now I understand the purpose of the bowl. It contains liquid more, so everything is extra juicier.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice, man. People might think that it is a lot of oil, but it's on contrary. It's like a very clean soup.
Delicious. Very rich, but I like it.
To top off the world's heaviest breakfast, the deluxe samsa.
They put everything they could possibly find and maybe something more.
Cow tongue, chopped beef, lamb sausage, horse sausage, lamb skirt, quail egg, pistachios, and cheese, all wrapped and baked.
Oh yes, the unveiling. Look at this. They do not mess around with the meat. So much meat. Do you know how much this costs?
$7.
That's a good deal.
Dude, it can feed the whole family.
Right. With the vegetables, way different flavor.
Yeah, it tastes almost like a stew.
It's like when you get grilled chilies and bell peppers and onions with fajitas.
Yeah.
It literally has its own soup. It's wild. It's like a liquid in here.
And it's not fat. It's just the juice of the meat and the rest of the ingredients.
I'm blown away. Before I came to Uzbekistan, we had samsa on a much different scale. It was like an independent guy doing his own thing. He had a couple tandoors, but here, what they're doing here is very impressive. To be able to do pretty complex food that has to be timed perfectly and to get it in people's hands at the perfect time while it's still hot. Fantastic. Should we call it a day?
No, man.
I need a nap after this.
The opposite of fire is water. But at our next location, I'm more concerned about what's in the water.
Whoa! This thing is like a snake. Whoa!
We're standing in front of Anhor, a restaurant offering fresh fish recently plucked from a nearby river. In front of us, a catfish weighing in at over 20 pounds.
This is a big boy.
They usually grow into like a human size.
This thing looks like a giant tadpole as far as I'm concerned. It looks like it's going to become a big frog one day. How much beer has this fish been drinking?
This little fatty will be cooked up two ways, kebabbed and stewed. In this double landlocked country, dining a fresh fish is a treat, reserved for those who make the trip here near the Sir Darya River. If you want to know what's on the menu, just look in the water.
When you go to Tashkent, can you see restaurants like this with the live fish in front?
Very seldom.
Yeah, you gotta keep them on life support. You have to have a defibrillator all the way to Tashkent. Stay alive! Yeah.
Or with a huge tank with the water.
Oh, that's a better idea.
After the catfish is cleaned, it hangs for a few minutes so the blood can drain. Besides catfish, carp and whitefish are also familiar faces at this restaurant.
Is this one napping?
It was freshly caught, so he's like now decompressing, but he will adjust.
Decompressing!
Now he's trying to pull it, so he wants you to show that it's still alive, quite unsuccessfully.
Hey, it just swam away. You're right, it was decompressing. It was like, I've had quite a day. I don't even know where I am now. I suddenly have 57 roommates.
Back to our giant catfish. Half of it is portioned, then skewered and tossed on the grill. They season the fish with a blend of salt, paprika, parsley, and pepper.
Oh, very beautiful. From the side, the cross-section looks very juicy. Let's try it out.
Nice.
Crispy skin, a little bit of seasoning on there. Simple, straightforward.
Definitely. Catfish is known for the fat, so you can feel it. It's not a lean, it's like fatty.
And with this fish, you can really taste the minerality. You can taste the river, right? Some people don't love that riveriness, that minerality, but guess what? I do. Two fish cooked two incredible ways. This is the snakehead fish, whole thing scored and fried. It looks glorious. And then here, the catfish. I think we should start with this and end with this.
The snakehead fish is cleaned, scored, and marinated with salt. They deep fry the whole thing until it looks like modern art.
You rip off a little fish steak. This looks nice. Thin cut, extra fried, crispy on the outside, feels juicy on the inside. Let's try it out. Taste snaky at all?
Really good. I like it. Deep fried, little like salty. It's like a really, I would say, like a snack food, you know?
It's fresh, it's greasy. This doesn't taste nearly as rivery as the catfish. It doesn't have that crazy kind of mineral taste to it.
Catfish usually live in the bottom like a SpongeBob, so it ends up eating everything.
Would you eat SpongeBob if you could?
Now this is an epic treat. The catfish meat is deep fried along with the head. In a kazan, toss in butter and layer fried fish meat with herbs and veggies. Finish with the head as the cherry on top. After about 20 minutes, the alluring fragrance escaping the pan will let you know it's ready.
I don't even know where to start. We have the head on top, but all around it, there's a ton of big pieces of fish. I'm gonna try to pull out this meat.
I like it. A little spongy. Not about SpongeBob spongy.
Not that level, but a bit spongy. Way different array of seasonings and spices here. So what we had already that was grilled is much more simple, straightforward. This has much more depth of flavor to it.
You wanna try soup?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
Bro.
That's really good. Beautiful, delicious, super thick broth. It's starting to warm me up a little bit.
Imagine putting some ramen. That would be really like a hot pot.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a haircut. They put all the veggies on here. They've kind of scored the head as well, so it looks a bit gnarly, like it got some prison scars. I'm gonna grab just some cheek meat. Fish head is prized all over the world, and the most sacred part is the cheeks.
Honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. It tastes like just other parts.
Well, I would say it's more soft, not so spongy.
Yeah.
Seasonings have worked their way into there. All right, let's open this mouth. In here, we're gonna see a tongue. Oh, wow. Hi. It's exhaling its final breath. What note is this?
Time to say goodbye.
So this is like this part, the bottom jaw. It looks warm, plump, juicy, and overall just very nice. Completely different, huh?
Yeah.
And everything with that broth is so buttery, it's so flavorful, it's so deep. Is this the tongue?
I want to say yes. Very gelatinous.
Yeah, it kind of just crumbled and fell apart in my mouth.
It tastes like a bone marrow.
Maybe your piece did. Your piece had a bit more fat than mine. So we succeeded. We did have tongue.
Yeah, so fish do speak, because why they need tongue if they don't speak?
Do you know what I always think? People are like, oh, if we meet aliens, can we understand what they say? We don't even know what dolphins are saying. I don't even know what you're saying half the time.
Now, you're gonna witness one of Central Asia's most rarely seen foods.
Big reveal. Oh, it's still hot. It's steaming.
This is sumalak. This dish is only prepared once a year for the Uzbek Navruz holiday. And this year, they're making a lot, well over 1,000 pounds.
How you doing over there on that side? I feel like the wind's only coming towards me.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Once you see how it's made, you'll understand why it's not so common.
What they're doing right now seems easy, except for it's freezing outside.
The making, from beginning to end, takes over 24 hours.
People here tough as actual nails.
With this painfully long and difficult process,
This is the final product.
all starts with one simple task.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is 5 a.m. here in Uzbekistan. We are in the city of Namangan, and we are up very early for a special reason. It's to come here and see this. But Cruz, perhaps you could tell me what I'm looking at.
What you're looking at is the wheat sprout.
This wheat is not milled for flour. Instead, we're after the natural sweet juice inside. To get the sprouts ready for this moment, they've been watered 4 times a day for the last 3 days, right here in their home.
How much has this pile grown since it started?
We grew 100%. If you would invest early IPO, you would get 100% ROI, bro. So you missed it.
Roy? You call it Roy. I like that.
Simple wheat sprouts are the main ingredient for sumalak, but there's nothing simple about the food-making process we're about to witness.
A lot of the sumalak is going to be made today, over a ton. Is this enough?
This is decentralized way of doing it. You have to expect 30 more of the different houses doing this.
After collecting the wheat sprouts, they must be brought to a grinder to help release the juices inside.
We've come to our next location. This is the grinding place with the grinding lady. Hi, how you doing?
Just to kill, I'm an assassin.
So what I'm curious about is that this is a dessert, but you don't add any sugar to it later on.
No.
That means all the sweetness has to be coming from this. So I'm dying to try out the actual rough, raw ingredients right now. So at first it tastes like something that would go on a salad next to the croutons and the diced tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little bit of a sweetness to it, almost a little vanilla too. So we are here at the final site where all the cooking and all the fun is going to happen. I really admire the commitment of the people here because it is just a few degrees above freezing. And some people are just wearing like slippers. I'm freezing my ass off. I don't know how they do it. Right here, the wheat sprouts have been ground. They've been soaking in water for about half an hour and they put it through this net. This mesh cloth is going to allow all the liquid to filter through and then they kind of give it a squeeze. This is what we want right here. This liquid, confusion. They don't have a place for the refuse. Solution.
Run for cover, I've got a gun and I'm shooting love, don't panic.
Everyone's getting ready, everyone is pitching in different ways. Some people are bringing these big khazans or setting them up, getting them ready, putting the mud around them to seal them. Some people are starting fires, cleaning. So it's a huge group community effort and by tomorrow morning, we're gonna see over a ton of this stuff be made and given out for free to the public. So that is the big moment we're building up to.
Before the khazan even heats up, the ingredients are added. First, cottonseed oil is spread around the pan. Then they add rocks.
That's right.
River rocks are crucial to the process, and you'll find out why soon. Now, we're ready for that precious wheat sprout juice, filtered and drained into the khazan. As the contents of the pan continue to blend, we're now ready for the last ingredient.
Right here, wheat flour. So they have wheat flour, they pour that into, and then they kind of whisk it about, mix it in, and get all the clumps out of there. So this is gonna get a lot more full, and when it is, they're gonna finally start the fire and get this to boiling a bit.
This is Miss Inobat and her family, helping her to mix in the wheat flour, though everyone has a slight twist to their strategy.
As I said, it is not just the women that we came with today. There are 10 different khazans and so many people from the community pitching in to make this event happen. Some people have a stick, some people have a whisk, and this lady has an electrical mixer. It's plugged into an extension cord. Does this go all the way to your house? We're in a park. What is this even plugged into? It's brilliant. I love it. So this is how you work smart, not hard. Very nice. I was going to give her a fist bump, but she's actually holding the electrical in the other hand.
At this point, there are no more ingredients to add. We're just gonna need a little bit of heat. As the fire begins to roar, more attention and care is required at each vessel, ensuring this liquid keeps moving and doesn't burn, potentially wasting hours of effort. Remember those rocks? As they shift around, they help create even more motion so the liquid doesn't stick.
But Cruz,
Yes,
it is
sir.
wild to see the progress that has happened in just a couple hours. I would be standing here. There's a reason I'm not. There's a fire blazing under the khazan. I was fine. Oh, thank you. Oh, but she's like, please go out of the fire and also do some work. But Cruz, you should help me too, right? So what is the technique here?
So what you do is that you have to make sure that it's not gonna stick under the bottom.
Yeah.
So you always have to scrap the bottom.
No, it's okay. It's okay. My favorite part is this lady does not trust me at all. I'm like, no, I insist, I'll do it. She's like, no, you won't, because this is mine. She will not let me destroy this under her watch.
This is Bobur Park. Tomorrow is Nowruz, the most important holiday in Uzbekistan, celebrating the start of the harvest season. Every March 21st, folks celebrate with festivities and sumalak, a painstaking sweet made just once a year on this day.
Just in a short amount of time, after putting in the flour, after putting in all that wheat juice, it's become really thick. Are people doing this overnight?
Till 8 p.m. they're gonna keep doing that, and then they're gonna close it for another 12 hours.
How many more can you do before you need to hand it to me?
Okay, only 2 people. They're gonna stay for another 10 hours.
Oh my gosh, the commitment here is unreal. This is you going to the extreme, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. What is pushing you right now to keep moving forward?
So the main driving force for her is a charity. She's happy that a lot of people are gonna enjoy it and a lot of people are gonna like it.
I wish I could help, but she said absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back in 5 hours. I'm gonna bring you a Gatorade. I'm gonna bring you a masseuse, some salt tablets too, and a banana.
Yeah, and in exchange you will get a sumalak.
You got a deal.
Yeah.
Right now we are in a nearby market because there is a lot of cooking to be done over at the park where they're making the sumalak. So we picked up some samsa. Now I know what you're thinking. You guys have had samsa twice, and at one place you had 5 different kinds.
Oh, yes.
These are small. So it's different. This guy is a mobile vendor behind us. It looks like his oven probably weighs a ton.
Yeah.
So inside, he's built a fire. He has a couple different types of samsa, including this.
These here are the baby bite-sized version, made with a flaky pastry dough and stuffed with juicy mutton.
They come in 4s, and you can tear it down to 1. And look how cute that is, huh? Very nice. Salty, fatty, cuminy, tons of onion, juicy mutton, and a beautiful doughy wrapper, golden brown on the top. That is the mini samsa.
Balalaica's ragtime band. They were playing that night in the sand.
The food tour continues. Behind us, something we actually have not tried yet. These are kebabs. Is this you, Bakruz?
Yeah. Can you see me?
I feel like David Blaine coming on stage right now.
Balalaica's ragtime band.
You can find kebabs everywhere in Uzbekistan. Minced lamb, beef, or chicken, spiced, wrapped around a skewer, and roasted over charcoal until they're dripping with deliciousness.
Not only is he cooking, he's like organizing them according to where it's hottest, where it's coolest, rotating them. Can you order too?
Now he's gonna hand it like out of nowhere. You see like kebab levitating toward to us.
Oh, there it is. 2 kebabs,
Yeah.
fresh on the steak. Can you just eat it like this?
Yeah.
All right. Beautifully seasoned, minced right off of the grill. Got a little crispy on the outside, but it's just nothing but juicy deliciousness on the inside. This is one of my favorite things so far. It's so simple, but so delicious. It's classic. It's something most people know, but not to be overlooked or underappreciated. We have found yet another very unique food, something I've not seen in any market so far. So this isn't the typical heavy, hot, oily food. No, this is something completely different. Although I gotta say, actually, it is fried.
Yeah.
But it's not meat, it's seafood, essentially. It comes from carp, freshwater fish here. We saw in the last episode how much people in this area love the freshwater fish. How much beer has this fish been drinking? Look at that belly. But here they're utilizing the egg sack. So they chop it into pieces, wrap it in batter, fry it, and then you get this.
I think it's unique, bro. I haven't seen it in other markets.
It looks like hush puppies. That's not fishy. It smells like oil. It's interesting because the eggs inside now have a bready texture to them. But you can feel the individual eggs like popping in your mouth, right?
It tastes like a bread. Doesn't taste like a fish, except the aftertaste.
Back at the park, the Sumalak sisters continue on. They've come too far to turn back now.
I promised you a Gatorade. Have you been here this whole time mixing? Oh my gosh, the only minor problem is that I don't think your country has Gatorade, so I brought you a Fanta.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, she gave it to someone else. All right. I thought it was a nice gift. But yeah, she's got to focus. She's got to work.
Up to this point, we're only about halfway through the sumalak making process. After 10 hours of continuous stirring, the sumalak transforms in color and consistency.
We saw you this morning at your home. It's been a long day. How you doing?
No, she's saying I'm fine.
People here tough as actual nails. The color of this, it's completely transformed. It's thick, it's bubbling, it's dark brown.
It looks like caramel or chocolatey.
She has her paddle here. She's gonna give us a little bit. This is like Molotov cocktail. It's very hot and sticky, so you gotta be careful.
Yeah,
let's try it out. Wow, this is an incredible, strange, and very unique flavor. It reminds me of odang in Korea.
Yeah.
Why does it remind me of like a fishy soup in Korea? Yeah. At this point, it's not incredibly sweet. It's a little bit like savory.
So she says that the sweetness is like at 50% because it's gotta stay another 12 hours without fire in that time. So it's gonna become really, really sweet.
The hardest part is now finished. From here, the men remove the fires. And the women create lids from fabric so the mixture can breathe without steaming up inside. The ladies end their day with a prayer. They hope for the best before returning back in the morning and discovering the final result.
It is the next day. There is excitement in the air. There's music, there's festivities. It's a very fun event. It is Nowruz. All the sumalak is ready. We're just waiting for the officials to come here and start the event officially. But in the meantime, they gave me a little bit of a peek of what's underneath. This is the final product. Would you take a look at this? All the work and effort and labor that went into making this. It's ready, and soon it's going to be scooped and dished out to hundreds, if not thousands.
Alas, the vessel's covers are removed, revealing the final product. This rich, dark brown, viscous dish is ready, and so is the public.
It's a good day to have a good day.
The women proudly serve the masses, dishing out the hard-earned fruits of their labor to all who ask, each person holding their own container. Some have small cups, some have huge jars, so they can take a portion home to share with their families.
Dude, this is wild.
Total chaos, man.
It's very festive. Everyone's here. Everyone's excited. They're about to open this one up. Big reveal. There we go. Oh, it's still hot. It's steaming. It looks incredible. It looks like a dark mocha. The look has completely transformed since yesterday morning in the last 24 hours. Oh, what does that smell like to you?
It smells like sumalak for me.
Yeah. We have our drink right here. We're going to try it right now. Cheers.
Cheers.
We waited 24 hours for this moment. It is hard to describe. The texture is almost like a thick gravy. You're downing that, dude. Get another. It has a little bit of a like molasses, caramel type flavor. There's a little bit of earthiness to it because I think coming from the wheat.
For me, it's like memory of the youth because as far as I can remember myself, every year sumalak is going on and me, small kid, rushing with my own container. Just brings a lot of good childhood memories. And it's a really rare instance when you have it. So for me, it's really good.
Right, so as much about the taste as it is the nostalgia and the feelings that go with it.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I'm also drinking your childhood. That's it, we did it. Guys, this whole video, over 24 hours, waking up at 4 a.m., all of it was just for this moment right here. Some things you just gotta wait for. And it's not just about the food, it's about all this right here. Before we go, I want to say thank you so much. Rahman, these ladies have been so hard at work. It is so impressive to see their commitment to this festival and everything they've done here. Cheers.
Sumalak is much more than a holiday food.
Oh yeah.
It's a taste of nostalgia, a symbol that represents selflessness and giving. Soon enough, this 24-hour masterpiece is devoured within 24 minutes. What remains is warm bellies, happy faces, and a sense of accomplishment.
Guys, that brings us to the end of our Uzbekistan adventure journey and my men, the cruise. You crushed it. You did a great job. If you've watched any videos about Uzbekistan, you have seen this guy's face because he is an expert when it comes to traveling here in Uzbekistan.
Gain the advantage of BEFRS' travel expertise and guidance by using funstands.com to plan your Central Asian travel adventure.
Go to funstands.com with my man BEFRS. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace. All right. Plov. I need more plov in my life. Plov is my new staple of my diet.